Should you have kids? I've seen this going around on TikTok. I've seen this going around on Instagram. And it's the conversation about someone sitting in their car and they say, look, just be honest with me. Let's talk about it. Should I or should I not have kids? And it's like this really modern conversation, because in the past it was just taken for granted. If you could, you would. If you got married, you would. It was just a thing. People just had kids. But now, especially as women, and I'm going to come to this from a woman's point of view, not from a man's point of view, because I've never been a man and had kids. It sounds kind of fun though. Next life, I'm coming back as a dad. I have a child. He's 3. I'm currently 7-ish months pregnant, which is why I can't breathe. And I wanted to have this conversation, not because I have the answer, but because I have my answer. Every time I see people have this conversation online, I philosophize about it. I have thoughts about it, and this is them. This is my answer for should you or should you not have kids. And I think my audience is intelligent. We are progressive, and I don't need to do the disclaimer of it's your choice to have kids or not. At the end of the day, I can't tell you whether to do it or not. That's obvious. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm just here to impart my view on it to you, and then you run with it and do as you will. By the way, when you guys subscribe to this channel from a video, I can tell which video makes you subscribe. So let's have a symbiotic relationship, because 70% of you view the channel but don't subscribe. So the video that makes you subscribe is the type of content that I'm going to make more videos of. So you let me know your preference by subscribing when you see a video you like. Like, let's say it's this one. You like this content, you like this conversation, you like what I'm saying, something. Leave me a comment. I appreciate that. I want to talk to you because it allows me to know what you're saying. But also subscribe. It helps the channel. Symbiosis. Together, we will grow. I think having or not having kids as a modern woman comes down to this simple, basic principle. There is the women who always knew they wanted them. It's not a question for them. They are over here. Have them. There is women over here who don't want them, don't question it. They just don't want children, and they know their reasons. They're over here, don't have them. And then there's everybody else in the middle. From having seen this conversation so much online and having seen it with my friends who are in their 30s, it's become a modern conversation because we do have so many options as women now. And I think the question is basically asking of ourselves, what will it stop me from having if I have children? And what will it give me if I have them? And I see people answer, well, they're not financially a very good thing because you spend a lot of money on them. And look, you might not be best friends with your kids, so they might not be on your deathbed. And people give all these practical reasons, but at the end of the day, people on this spectrum over here who definitely want them would say, oh, but what is the point of life? It's for expansion, it's for everything. You need to grow, what is the point if it's not family? People over here who definitely don't want them say they're expensive, they like their lifestyle as it is. And this is what it comes down to for me. Do you want a life of growth, perhaps discomfort, and some extreme joys with extreme painful moments? Or do you want a life which you can be sure about and curate, but know that you will not have those necessary growths in the same way? In the same way, you will have other growths and expansions as you would. If you're a woman and you have a child, you will expand in ways, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, even biologically, in your head, physiologically, that you didn't even think possible. And as a man, it happens too, but as a woman, literally your brain changes. Not only do you love someone more than you thought possible, you also are pushed to the extremes of your patience, of your love, of your mental capacity, I've never seen in my life people worry like they do about their children. My obstetrician told me it never stops. Even when they're 18, you worry, you become a forever parent. But what it gives you is something that even a voyage to the monastery couldn't, and that is extreme self-knowledge, self-introspection, an ability to discover aspects and areas of yourself that you didn't know existed through the seeing yourself as a parent and seeing the levels of patience you have, seeing the levels of your human capacity. And for me in my 20s, I didn't know whether I wanted to have children or not. And having met my husband, I decided I do want them. For me, it's on my channel. It was something that happened. It wasn't something hereditary or reoccurring. It was just, it didn't work out the first pregnancy. And it made me have a stark reality that, whoa, I do actually want this. But for some people, it makes them think, oh, I don't actually want this. And it's that starkness of it. But even in that expansion of it not working, it pulled my human emotion, and I saw it happen to my partner as well, to the next level of ability. I think the plus side of not having children, and what I've seen in the people who haven't had them around me, is the ability to curate a lifestyle. So on one hand, you have extreme joys, heart-wrenching situations, because you'll always worry about your children, extreme patience, testing. You have testing and growth, limitation, like expansion, like pulling you apart to your entirety of who you could be as a person. And on the other side, you have focused curation of who you could be. If I never chose to have children, what I would want to have had for my life would have been a life that I completely knew what I was going to dedicate it to, and perhaps some kind of curation of it. And I don't mean doing anything epic, although that would have been great, like saving orangutans or, I don't know, doing something incredible with my life that I'm very passionate about. It could even be a job, but it doesn't have to be. People have incredible lives where they dedicate themselves to an art, to a cause or something, but I think a human being needs something like that in their life. But I know some incredible people who decided not to have children, and their dedication is just having the good quality life that they want. They go on holidays they want, they go to places they want, they do what they want without any hindrance, one might say. I know my husband wouldn't agree. He thinks that our child just adds joy in every possible way to our life. But those are the two polarities. Do you want yourself stretched to the human capacity and growth? Or do you want to curate your life on your own basis, on your own terms? And I'm going to speak to women when I say this. No matter how much staff you put around yourself, no matter what you do around yourself, you will be that child's mother, and you will be connected and expanded in ways that you never thought possible. And for me, coming into this life, I would say having a child is the best teacher you could ever have. It is the best connection to humanity and reality of what it is to be human. It is one of the 3 relationships that I don't think I could have ever missed out on. One is with your parents, one is with your partner, and one is with your children. And for me, I will take the discomfort, the chaos, spending on someone else, and the pain of what people talk about childhood, having children like they're a lot, they take your money, blah, 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 blah. They hinder your work if you want them to. And I say if you want them to, because I will tell you this, I've never made more money or progress in my business since I've had my son. Do with that as you will. Not through lack of trying. I tried really hard before my son, but the identity and the expansion I had as a mother made me inexcusably productive, focused, goal-oriented, and I'll be damned if he's gone to daycare or he's gone to his grandparents that I'm not productive in that time. They say if you want something done, ask a really busy mum, right? So it's what you do with it. I want to be stretched to my human capacity. I want to see who I am in this earth plane as this instance of myself. And I was given the opportunity to be able to be a woman in this lifetime, feminine energy, and create life. How amazing is that? So I would say, if you want that for yourself, to see who you really are, have them. But if you want to curate your life, and you want a certain predictability, and you've had too much turmoil in your life, and you're not sure you could cope with that expansion and having someone else, or you just merely know exactly what it is you want. You want to be a botanist, and you want to do this, and you want to dedicate your life to this, or even you want to travel to every single destination holiday in your life, and you know that you will not miss that expansion that you could have had. Because let me tell you something. If you're wondering, should I have children because it will hinder my career? That is not what life is, essentially. It's not the essence of life. Every age and industry that comes with that age, the Industrial Revolution, has a way that they want you to think. Women's emancipation, we're in the workforce, my career is everything, isn't the reality. It's just a reality in this paradigm right now. Back before that, before the Industrial Revolution, your farm would have been everything. Cultivate the farm, the family skill set. What do we do? It's back in the caveman days. What is my cave? It's not a reality. No one's going to remember you because you were the best lawyer in the law firm. And nobody's going to remember you in 500 years because you were a great mum either, except for the souls you were a mother to. So it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice because no one's going to celebrate you for being a lawyer, and no one's going to celebrate you for being a mum in 500 years. But what do you want for your spiritual journey on this earth? Is it expansion, or is it controlled, calm, perhaps with those peaks, without those peaks? There's a lot of peaks here, ups and downs, not so much here. So I think that's the question. Do you want to create your own joy, create your own life, curate it, very controlled? Or do you want this chaotic expansion? And I recommend this if you're up for it. I'll see you on the next one.